Hey Amber, so this is your very first feedback assessment. The first one is usually a little bit longer because I'm going over a lot of random things, and then as we go, they'll become a little bit more concise and shorter. But I try to keep it around 5 minutes. But this one will be a little bit longer. But I just want to jump right in and go over some things, and that's what I'm going to do each week for these. Um, I'll basically just be showing you some things that you did really well and just some things to maybe focus on and show you. So, jumping right in, your steps are great. Your movement is great. It is not something that we're going to have to focus on or worry about. Some people are so low with that it is something that is at the top of the list for priority to have to focus on, but you don't. Great job updating your stats. Each week or every other week, I want you to do that, but it's important, and it gets kind of annoying to do for some people, like repetitive and why am I doing this? But honestly, it is so eye-opening to see what's actually happening, because on a daily basis we don't notice a lot of changes, good and bad. So when we compare pictures and measurements over the course of every 2 weeks, and especially over the course of a few months, we notice, wow, I am leaning out. My body composition is changing. My core is looking tighter, or the opposite. So it's a great way to actually see what's happening. So good job with doing that, because believe it or not, some people don't do it at all. So the more you do the little things and the tasks that we're supposed to do, the more results you'll have, and the more accountability factor is there, and so on. Great job logging your foods. If you want to do like certain days of logging all day long, you can do that. If it gets kind of repetitive and monotonous, you can just do like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And sometimes you can, to make it easier, you can just jot it in your phone, and then at the end of the day, plug it into the app. But if every day is something that you want to do, you can also do that as well. Or as an additional option, you can just do maybe your lunch and dinner for some days, because people get kind of burnt out and they become kind of like macro obsessed almost, to where it becomes like an unhealthy type of accountability tracking task. So I want to get it just right and make sure you're comfortable with it and not feeling burnt out from it, but also getting the benefits from doing that. And eventually you'll never have to track, but right now we want to track doing food logs just in the beginning. It's you're doing more in the beginning to have to do less later on. So great job with that. And honestly, overall, your protein intake is really good. You have adequate protein, and you're not going way over your fats, which is a hard thing to accomplish because most people have like low protein and just way too many carbs and fats, even though they might be in the calorie range they're supposed to be in. So their macros have to be completely adjusted, like the ratios of them. But you're really good with that. So that's an awesome thing to start out with. So I want to know, how full are you when you hit your macros? When you're around like 2,100 calories, are you super full? Are you still kind of hungry, or are you pretty much content? I just want to know how you feel. Okay, and this day specifically, that's highlighted right here, this 30 grams of fat. For a woman, you want to make sure you never go under 40 grams a day. Our bodies just need that much fat intake at baseline at 40 grams. So make sure you don't go below that, which shouldn't be a problem. Typically, it's the opposite, like just going over fats or getting, being on point. So that day was unique in that case with just being low fat intake. So with lower fat intake, you'll just feel lower energy and probably more hungry because of that low fat intake. But how many days a week are you doing intermittent fasting? I can't remember if you said it was every day or the majority of the week. Would you be willing to do maybe 3 days a week intermittent fasting, and preferably on the days that you don't do high intense workouts, like resistance or like strength training workouts? IF has a lot of benefits, definitely, but I've noticed that a lot of ladies that do it, they almost become a little bit, it's like an unhealthy obsession. I'm not saying you are with that, but it can create, sorry, didn't mean to do that. Let me get back over here. Okay. It can kind of create some habits of prolonged eating, like going with a long time without eating, and our bodies do get used to that, obviously. Which I'm sure you've noticed in the beginning it was a lot harder, and then now it's like, okay, it's normal to just not eat for a long period of time and extend it until whatever time it is that you eat your first meal. But it can just create that feeling of your body and mind just being okay with not eating and not feeling hungry, especially when our first meal is coffee after breaking our fast, and doing coffee as our first meal, because coffee curbs your appetite even more intensely. So it can kind of create some odd habits that aren't as fueling and healthy, but overall IF is great. So for the ones who do it a lot, I try to get them to do it maybe just like a couple days a week, and to start focusing on a better fuel before and after a workout. So especially the ones who work out in the morning. So if you're waking up, try to have just your regular like balanced breakfast within an hour of eating, and have water with that. Eat your meal and then try to have your coffee after that, or towards the tail end of like your breakfast being consumed. But definitely water and food first, and then have your coffee. Your body is just going to feel a lot better. Your hormones are going to feel a lot better. Excuse me. And especially if you're doing a workout within the first part of your day, you don't want to do your workout unfueled. You want to have your breakfast, and then maybe wait a couple hours and then do your workout, and then have your food afterwards. But if you're doing a workout in the morning, I want you to focus on having your coffee after the workout, no coffee before the workout. So I want you to have your pre-workout food, which is basically just like a banana or a glass of apple juice, or even a slice of toast with some jelly on it, some jam on it. It can be super light. You could even do like a small apple. You don't have to have anything else with it, just that super quick carb intake with like right before you work out. And then do your workout, and then right after you can have your full breakfast of all of your foods, all your macros with like a full meal. Or if you're not that hungry, you can do just a protein intake, like a Greek yogurt, a high protein yogurt, and then have your meal after that whenever you feel hungry. So it's kind of like gauged on how you feel, but you're definitely wanting to get in that quick carb intake right before, like a fruit source, like within 30 minutes of that workout, like you're eating it and then basically working out right after. And then after your workout, you're having that protein intake, or you're having a full meal right after, if you're super hungry. So I hope that makes sense. It'll make more sense as we go because I'm going to keep giving examples and showing examples and going over it. That like these are the most important things to really focus on in the first month. So you'll be hearing me talk about it over and over and over. So basically, we just want to make sure our cortisol levels are good and they're not getting crazy high and our body isn't feeling a lot of stress from being improperly fueled. That's what I meant to say. Because our body can register stress as not just things that are like stressful in our lives, in our lives, but things like working out too much and not eating enough of the right foods at the right times. Our body will register that as stress. So our adrenal glands can be thrown off from that, which affects our hormones, and which are our hormones and cortisol levels. So even something little like that can highly affect our body. So I just want to focus on having the right foods before and after a workout and making sure your breakfast isn't just a coffee and having the coffee just placed at a different time. It's an adjustment, but I promise you'll feel better and your body will thank you. You're probably like, oh, I don't even feel bad from doing that. But sometimes we don't realize like we could be more jittery or hungry or having more energy crashes or more binge eating times at random times in the middle of the day, all because of like something we could have done at the beginning of our day. So we'll work on that together and make sure we change that around a little bit. And I'm all about rearranging and adjusting things as opposed to cutting things out of your diet. So, okay. And I just highlighted your breakfast right there, which is what we just talked about. But overall, your foods are really great. Your macros are good, your macro ratios. So let me know if you feel guilty or restricted with certain foods that you love in your week. Are you cutting out things and feeling guilty when you do consume them, or feeling like you really want them and you're restricting them and cutting them out? Let me know. I want to know what your major things are that you're feeling like you can't do or that are difficult with this type of journey with health and fitness and with your diet. So for now, I just want to focus on the right pre-workout and post-workout foods. And this is a little example at the bottom. Let me try to zoom in. So within 30 minutes of your workout, say it's an earlier workout in the morning portion of your day. Obviously, you haven't had breakfast or anything to eat yet. Just eat like a banana and then do your workout. And then, like I said, right after, just have like a glass of Fairlife milk or a protein shake, a Greek yogurt, high protein yogurt, and then you can have a full meal after that when you feel hungry. Or if it is a workout that you did later in the day, like midday, afternoon, you would have already had your breakfast and possibly your lunch. So if you're not hungry and you just had, your last meal within an hour and a half or so and you're just not hungry, just go ahead and do your workout. Gauge your hunger levels and feel them. And if you are hungry, like it's been like 3 hours since you've had food or 2+ hours and you're like, I'm kind of hungry. I don't want to do my workout feeling, tired and unfueled. You're going to know that, and you're going to get used to feeling that, engaging that about your body. Have a small apple, have a handful of fruit snacks, have, a cup of blueberries, whatever it is that you want. That's like a simple carb intake. You can have that like right before your workout and then work out, and you're just going to have better energy, better performance during your workout. And you're going to feel better and you're going to do better. And then after your workout, you do what I talked about earlier, have your post-workout protein intake, whether it's included in a full meal. If you're really hungry, like sometimes after my workout, I am hungry. I am ready to like slam a meal. I don't want to just have a small protein shake. I want some food. So if you're really hungry after your workout, your body's hungry, eat a full meal with that protein obviously included in that. And then if you're not that hungry, sometimes I'm not that hungry after a workout. Just make sure you have that protein intake, either a Greek yogurt, protein, a protein shake, a big glass of Fairlife milk, whatever it is that you choose as your protein dense item right after. And then your body will feel hungry maybe 30 minutes later, 45 minutes later, an hour after. That's when you have a full meal. So we're going to focus on really feeling what our body is needing. And sometimes when we do intermittent fasting or we have coffee in the morning or in the middle of the day, it can throw off our intuition and how we gauge and sense our hunger levels. So we want to get more in tune and more in touch with that and really know what we need and when we need it. So I hope that makes sense. If something is kind of confusing or you're like, what the heck are you talking about? I don't know what that means. Just let me know. But this is going to be sent to you separately as a PDF for you to view as well. But let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if this helps. Let me know if you have any feedback and takeaways from this. But most importantly, let me know if something just was confusing that I talked about, and I'll go over it again. But this is your first official macro biofeedback assessment. It's a little longer than it typically will be just because it's the beginning and the very first one. But we will talk soon. Great job so far. Okay, we'll talk soon.